Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today is going to be a little bit different. I want to tell you guys 4 different paranormal spooky stories. All of these stories took place back in Virginia, about 2 hours away from the city. So this all mainly took place at a certain family member's house. I'm not going to say any names because I don't know if they're going to watch this and I don't want them to feel weird, but we're going to go ahead and dive right into these. My first story has to do with sleep paralysis, and if you're not really aware of what that is, it's see, that's the thing, I don't really know how to describe it, but basically it's like when you're sleeping and you don't have any control of your body, and sometimes there's something there with you, sometimes there isn't. In my experiences, I'm usually alone and I just can't get up, but this time it was at my aunt's house, and I was really young, so you know when you're at parties and you're young and like you pass out and they put you to sleep in like whoever's room. So that's what happened to me. But when I woke up, they had shut the curtains and they were like these long, thick, dark red curtains. So I woke up and I was laying down. So all I could do was move my eyes like this and I couldn't move. And out of nowhere, I see this figure at like the corner of the bed, like somewhere like over here, you know. But it was small and it was dark. And I'm just there, freaking out because there's this thing at the corner of the bed. And in my mind, I'm like, it better not come near me. And what does it do? It starts walking this way, and then it comes back, and it starts walking this way, but it never gets next to me. And it just starts doing that, and it goes a little bit faster, and then the bed starts shaking. And it gets to a point where I've had like so much, and I'm so terrified that I either pass out or I just like go back to sleep. And then I wake up and I run out of that room so fast. But the weird thing is, when I have sleep paralysis, there's usually nothing there. This was the first time that I have had something there with me, and to feel the bed like shaking, it was too much, especially being a kid. So that was my first experience at the house. We kept going over a lot. That was kind of like our little getaway from like the city. So we would drive all the way over there, like 2 hours away, to like go to this family member's house. Well, it was my aunt. And they kind of lived like in the middle of nowhere. So even from her house, you had to keep driving really far to get to like any store. It wasn't like really far. It was probably like 20 minutes to get like to a store or to like a little like area where there's restaurants and stuff. We were actually coming back from wherever we were, and we were going back to the house. So this is story number 2. I was sleeping in the back of the car and my dad was driving, and in the car behind us was my other aunt and her kid. My dad breaks out of nowhere and he awakens me from my sleep, and I'm like half awake, opening my eyes, and as soon as I open my eyes and I look to see why my father braked so hard, what I see, and I know he sees it too because he's on the phone and he's telling my aunt in Spanish. He's like, ¿Estás mirando lo que estoy viendo yo? Which translates to, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And I can faintly hear my aunt's voice being like, yes, blah, 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 blah. So I ask him, like, what is that? And he's like, nothing, nothing, nothing. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. And what I saw was this brown figure floating off of the road, right in the middle of the road. I forgot to mention a very important part. To get anywhere from my aunt's house, you have to drive through this like 5-minute long cornfield, and the corn is just insanely tall, and it's long. Like, you have to drive through that for a long time. So when we stopped, we were in the middle of this cornfield. There was just nothing. There was just corn. So it's so weird that out of nowhere this thing came out and just stood right there in the middle of the road. Well, it didn't stand because it was floating off the ground. And that's the thing, it didn't even have like a human figure. It was just like this like blob, and it was brown and you could see through it. But me being a scaredy cat and being a kid, when my dad said go back to sleep, that's exactly what I did. I went back to sleep. And after that, I didn't even question it. I just completely forgot until I went to go see my parents like 3 months ago, and I confirmed it with him. I asked him, was it true? Or am I tripping? Like, did we really see that? And he said, yeah. So, that's kind of something that we'll never be able to explain what it was. But on to story number 3. This is maybe one of the reasons why we kept experiencing things, but honestly I'll never know. I don't really talk to that side of the family ever like anymore. So this one's a short story, but it's kind of weird because, you know what, let me just get to the point. So we were walking out, we were ready to go. It was my aunt, my mom, and me and her 2 kids. And as we're walking out from the back door, we have to go around to get to our cars in the front lawn. And as we get to the front lawn, there's a dead chicken inside of a circle, and there's also underwear. And if you know anything about brujeria, like, that's obviously like what it was. And that's pretty much all I remember. My mom just told me to go. And they didn't really like let me look at it for a long time. I don't remember much after that, but I do remember that they did that to her house. And it's kind of weird. Like, why would someone do that? When did they have time to do that? We were inside the house. I don't know, it's really strange. So I feel like that could have a lot to do with why the house was kind of weird. Knowing this, that they did that to the house, kind of explains why there was weird stuff happening inside of the house, which is my 4th story. I don't know if I mentioned, but I think I forgot to mention, but someone passed away inside of the house, but I never saw anything human-like inside of the house. What I did see, though, I'm about to tell you guys. So my 4th story, it was a rainy day, and my aunt was finishing her like makeup and her hair or whatever inside of her room, and the door was locked. I got done getting ready, so I was looking for my parents inside of the house. They weren't in the living room, so I assumed that they were already outside, which they were. So I'm making my way out through the back door, but the back door, it was like this, it was like wood, and then there was 4 little pieces of glass like on top so you could see out of it, and it was raining, so there was a lot of how do you say it? That's how the door was, but when I looked at it, there was writing on it, and the writing was my name. And it was written in the most neat and perfect handwriting. All the letters were the same size. And this wasn't my dad's handwriting, and it was not my mom's handwriting. And no, there was no kids in the house. There was no way that this could be a prank. My name was literally written on the door. And the weird part is, you know when you write on windows like that after it rains, the water immediately starts dripping? This was so fresh that the water hadn't even started dripping yet. And it blows my mind because whatever it was, it knew my name. Dude, that just gave me the chills. Like, it knew my name. I even took a picture of it when I was younger, but that picture is long gone. You know, I never really put much attention to it because back then I didn't really understand like what had just happened to me. I even asked my parents when I went outside to go find them. I was like, did you guys write my name on the door? And now that I like look back on it, they acted so weird. But they just told me no. But obviously they're gonna tell me no because they don't want me to freak out. But yeah, there is no explanation to that. That's like the weirdest thing that has ever happened to me. And every time I tell someone that story, they kind of just, I don't know, it's really hard to believe. But yeah, I don't know what it is about that area in Virginia. I don't know what it is about that little town or that house, but it was so weird. Like, the vibes were just, it was just not a good feeling to be around there. If you guys have any creepy paranormal stories, please drop it down in the comments. I love reading about this type of stuff. I love watching videos about this type of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video if you're into this. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll help me a lot, and like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.